So we've looked at how we can change the defaults on the working time assumptions. So the default that there are 8 hours in a day and 40 hours in a week, as well as amending those defaults for your particular project or any of your projects. You can also control the calendar. Now there are a number of calendars. We access these through change working time on the project ribbon. So when I go into change working time, in the drop list at the top, I see a number of calendars. Now there is the standard calendar, which controls all the tasks when they are able to be done and all the resources that are available for those tasks until you amend individual resources. There is a night shift calendar, and you can see here the working times for this particular calendar: 12 till 3, 4 till 8, and then 11 till 12. So they start at 11 at night effectively, work through to 3 in the morning, then have an hour's break, and then work 4 till 8. On the standard calendar, you work from 8 till 12, have an hour for lunch, work from 1 till 5. And then there is a 24-hour shift calendar where there is no break at all. So there's no day off and there's no lunch break. Now, the 24-hour shift calendar, it's a built-in calendar. It comes with a project. It's quite useful for machinery that could work 24 hours a day. Even a machine, though, should really have a break, but it's there as an option. We have a 24-hour calendar, a night shift calendar, and a standard calendar, which every new resource is based on until you change things. So if I just say OK and go have a look at the resource sheet, here's where you change the base calendar for each of your work resources. A material resource does not have a calendar. In the drop list, you'll see the 3 built-in ones: standard, night shift, and 24 hours. So you can change any of your resources to respond to one of the other default calendars. So the night shift one or the 24-hour one, or leave it with the standard calendar. Back at project, change working time. I'm now looking at the calendar for the plumber because I've come in through the resource sheet. Let's just go back to the Gantt chart, project, change working time, and I'm looking at the standard calendar. So if you need to change anything for everybody in the calendar, so availability, working time, perhaps you always have Friday afternoons off or something, you would change that in the default calendar. If we want to make changes to the default calendar, there are a couple of ways of doing this. Either we want to do it to every single week. Then we go to the Work Weeks tab at the bottom here. There is a default line, which is the default working time, and then I choose Details. In the details, I can then go through each of the days of the week and choose either use project's default times for these days. The default times are what you can set in the working time in the options, where we set the start time and the end time. Or we can set the chosen day, which in this case is Sunday, to non-working time. Or we can set it to specific working times, and then you can enter those specific working times here. If we want to change our calendar for everybody, so we're changing the standard calendar, so they all have Friday afternoon off, then we go to Friday, set days to specific working hours. That then makes this little bit available. So they currently work 8 till 12 and then 1 till 5. But what we want to do on a Friday is make them work till 1. So we click onto the 12 and let's just type 13:00 in there. And then we're going to delete the afternoon session effectively. So I click on the 2 and then delete on the keyboard. And now I've changed Friday's working day in the standard calendar to 8 till 1. When I then click OK, before we click OK, let's move that. You can see here the project is due to finish on November the 4th. Let's just click OK. And the knock-on effect is our project now finishes on November the 8th because we've given everybody Friday afternoons off. Friday afternoon is now non-working time. So you have to be a little bit careful about what you do and the then consequential knock-on effects. When I'm looking here, when I click on any day of the week except the weekend and Friday, I see 8 till 12, 1 till 5. When I click on Friday, I see 8 till 1. So I've changed the default working day for every Friday in the system. That's done under work weeks. Click on default and click on details. And in here, you can change any one of the days to be a non-working day, to be a different set of hours like we've done for the Friday, or to use the default working hours that are set in the options. What you might want to do is set a single exception. That exception could be a bank holiday, for example. So my project starts on October the 3rd, which is a Monday. We've just had notification that October the 3rd, 2016 is going to be a national holiday. So I need to make that a non-working day. Now, it's an exception. It's not a change to the working week. I don't want to make every Monday a non-working day. I just want to make this particular date of October the 3rd. So I come into the exceptions section, click into the name, and we'll call it October National Holiday. Click into the start. Now, the start is actually October the 3rd. So I use the calendar to navigate to October the 3rd. And then the finish defaults to October the 3rd, although I could make it 2 days or 3 days. Notice the calendar above here has responded, and that's now a non-default work week. However, I want it to be a day off, so I need to go into details, set it to be non-working time. Okay, and we see in the Gantt chart the Monday, October the 3rd, becomes a non-working day, and the project now needs to start on Tuesday the 4th. So let's change working time, standard calendar. This affects everybody until you alter individuals, and you can change the default working pattern using the work week option, or you can add in exceptions to the work pattern, which is useful for bank holidays, national holidays, perhaps site closures, any reason you might want to alter a specific day or number of days on your working plan. You would do that under the exceptions, and you can have as many exceptions as you like. You simply enter a name for the exception, enter the start and finish date that that exception is going to affect, and then into details, which we did for October, to say it's a non-working day or it's a different set of working times, and then OK. So that's your standard project calendar. Any changes you make to the standard project calendar only affect the current project. So you don't need to worry about making changes to every single project from now on. It's just affecting the current project calendar. But the standard calendar will affect everybody, all the tasks, and then any work resource that is assigned the project calendar. In our case, we say OK, go back to the resource sheet. All of our work resources are currently responding to the standard calendar.